Welcome, and thank you for taking time for your own learning about the rights of babies and toddlers with developmental delays or disabilities. This training video provides information about services for babies through age 3 in the early intervention system. Part 2 of our Family Advocacy and Children Rights series, available also on our website, includes more information about the transition from early intervention into preschool and primary school. My name is Jerry Clark, and I'm a resource coordinator with Parent Training and Information, PTI, a program of PAVE. Our PTI staff provide direct assistance to families and young people impacted by disability from birth through age 26. You can get direct assistance from PAVE by going to our website, wapave.org, and clicking Get Help to fill out a helpline request form. So our website is wapave.org. We provide language translation options. Another choice is to leave a message by phone at 800-572-7368. Our PTI has grant funding from the U.S. Department of Education. Please note that the contents of this presentation do not necessarily represent the policies of the U.S. Department of Education, and you should not assume endorsement by the federal government. PAVE is not a legal service agency and cannot provide advocacy, advice, or legal representation. Our goal is to empower families by providing information and access to resources. I'd like to take a moment to reflect that our agency supports equitable rights for all people. PAVE supports the Black Lives Matter movement and includes a statement of solidarity and a commitment to action on our website homepage. I also want to acknowledge that I'm grateful to Indigenous people for their understanding of how to live as part of a sustaining web of plant and animal species. I live and work on traditional land of the Cowlitz tribe in Southwest Washington. This training focuses on the rights of babies through age 3 when a developmental delay or disability impacts learning. We'll look at places to begin and how to participate in putting together an individualized family service plan called an IFSP. Tips for family advocates are included. Please note that no federal or state agency has waived any of the protections for children with disabilities due to the circumstances of COVID-19. Many services have shifted and are being offered in different ways during the pandemic, but children's rights are unchanged. I'm going to start talking about the rights of children in the United States. Here's a visual to get us started. Children eligible for services at the top of this pyramid are protected all the way down. Anytime there is a concern that a child with a disability has unmet needs, it's helpful to consider this pyramid of rights and which protections need to be considered. At the base of this pyramid is ESSA, which stands for Every Student Succeeds Act. ESSA guarantees access to a free public education to ensure that every child in the nation can achieve. ESSA includes funding to improve birth to 5 programs and promote school readiness. In the middle of the pyramid of children's rights is the Rehabilitation Act. Section 504 is part of that law. It provides civil rights protections for people who need accommodations to work, learn, or access any opportunity that is available to all members of the public. Section 504 defines disability broadly as an impairment that significantly impacts a major life activity. Also in the middle of the pyramid is the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. Title II of the ADA also protects individuals from disability discrimination throughout their lives by requiring accommodations that support equity. A person in a wheelchair, for example, has the civil right to access a library, a school, or a museum with ramps and accessible entrances. Accommodating hidden disabilities, such as ADHD or autism, can seem more complicated, but the right to an equitable opportunity is protected by these two civil rights laws. At the top of the pyramid is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, the IDEA, which provides a plan for appropriate services to meet the needs of children birth through age 21 or upon their high school graduation. The next slide further describes parts of IDEA. Remember that a child at the top of this pyramid has protections from IDEA, Section 504, the ADA, and ESSA, the whole pyramid. The IDEA is written in three parts, A, B, and C. Part C is the topic of today's training. Part C is where the IDEA protects babies through their third birthday. Young children who qualify for services are provided help at home or in daycare or wherever is their natural environment. Part C, again, is the focus of today's training. Part 2 of our training focuses on the rights of children through Part B, which provides for special education services delivered through an individualized education program known as an IEP. Part B services are for children with eligible disability conditions in preschool through high school graduation or until they age out of services at 21. The IDEA also includes a Part A, which describes the overall goals of the law. Part A gives school districts the responsibility to prepare young people for success in their adult lives. Here's a statement from Part A of the IDEA. The law ensures that all children with disabilities have available to them a free and appropriate public education called FAPE, designed to meet their individual needs and prepare them for further education, employment, and independent living. Here on this slide is an overview of how birth to 3 services are organized in Washington State. Early services are administered by the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, DCYF, through a program called ESIT, which stands for Early Support for Infants and Toddlers. A free initial screening is available through a website page titled Parent Help 123. To pursue a formal evaluation, families have the option to contact ESIT or their local school district. The ESIT website offers a downloadable resource called Parent Rights and Leadership in multiple languages. Multilingual support is also provided for families who call the Family Health Hotline, which is 800-322-2588. Understanding key terms used to talk about early intervention services can help families get started. Here's a short list of phrases and acronyms. Child Find refers to the local school district's responsibility to seek out and evaluate children who might be impacted by disability. This responsibility is critically important for babies and young children, but also applies to children and youth through high school graduation or aging out at 21. Eligibility. Eligibility is based on data about a child's development in key areas. We'll talk about the 5 developmental domains in a bit. IFSP stands for Individualized Family Service Plan. That's how services are organized, delivered, and tracked. FRC is the Family Resource Coordinator who organizes the IFSP team. Natural environment refers to places where a child would be if there was no disability. Home and daycare are common places for IFSP services. Early learning transition starts before age 3. Part 2 of this training provides more information about that process. Free services, evaluation, assessments, IFSP development, and service coordination are provided at no cost to families. Here's a little more about Child Find. School districts have a duty to seek out and evaluate infants, toddlers, and school-age students with known or suspected disabilities if there is reasonable suspicion that a disability condition may significantly impact access to early learning in the natural environment for children birth to 3 and or learning at school for ages 3 to 21. A child's right to a non-discriminatory evaluation has multiple features. Here are a few of the most important ones. An IFSP evaluation is provided in the child's native language. That means the language used for communication in the home. The evaluation includes assessment of the child and family for a comprehensive perspective. Multidisciplinary input is required. And the evaluation considers how disability impacts a child's access to their natural environment. Again, that means settings that are natural or typical for a same-aged infant or toddler who doesn't have a disability. Here are the 5 developmental domains that are considered in an evaluation to determine eligibility for these early support services. I've included some simple icons to help you remember. The blue crawling baby icon represents the physical domain. Reaching for and grasping toys, crawling, walking, and jumping are part of this domain. The purple icon of the head filled with puzzle pieces represents the cognitive domain. This domain includes watching activities, following directions, and simple problem solving. The green icon of the face with a crooked mouth represents the social emotional learning domain. Children are evaluated to determine if they make their needs known, if they can initiate games, and if they are starting to learn how to take turns. The red icon of a conversation bubble holding 3 dots represents the communication domain. Vocalizing, babbling, using 2 to 3 word phrases are evaluated within the communication domain. The 5th domain is represented by the gray and white baby bottle icon because holding a bottle, eating with fingers, and getting dressed are examples of adaptive skills that can be evaluated as part of this IFSP determination process. In each domain, the evaluation is considering functional aspects of a child's ability. In other words, how their skills or skill deficits show up in everyday settings during everyday activities and routines. It's important to understand detail from the evaluation to understand how the data will inform services, which are supposed to be delivered in ways that support functional outcomes. In short, the skills and learning should make life more workable for the child and family. In a few moments, we're going to take a detailed look at outcomes and how to develop them as part of an IFSP team. After a child is evaluated, data are compared against typically developing children of the same age. If scores show a 25% delay overall, or if the score in one developmental area is statistically 1.5 standard deviations below typical peers, then the child is eligible for an IFSP. A child may also be eligible if there is a physical or mental condition, such as Down syndrome, that is known to cause a delay in development. A lot of detail about the evaluation process is included in a guidebook called A Family's Guide to Early Intervention Services in Washington State. The dcyf.wa.gov website provides access to this resource. Families can get ready for an evaluation by contacting a family resource coordinator, an FRC, at ESIT to discuss the process. Gathering key medical records, a baby book, a growth chart, or other documents can help the family get ready. Also, the family will want to decide ahead of time how much medical information they wish to share. It's also helpful to take a look at the family schedule and decide times and locations that will work well. Families are always welcome to invite a support person and to request interpreters or accommodations to meet their needs. Remember always that family members are the experts when it comes to their child's talents and needs. Parents must sign consent for an evaluation and for services to begin. Consent is also required if confidential information is shared among agencies. Please note that consent means that the parent has been fully informed in their native language. The language access requirement is defined in a specific section of the federal law, the IDEA. That's section 303.25. Note that parent consent is voluntary and can be revoked anytime. If a child is eligible for services, then a team is assembled to build an IFSP. The FRC, the Family Resource Coordinator, is assigned to manage the work and coordinate the team. The IFSP document includes the elements listed here. I'll read through them, and the next section of slides provides more detail about some of these elements. The present levels of functioning describe what your child is doing now. This information comes from evaluation and additional reports and information shared by family, providers, and other IFSP team members. The family has the option to provide a statement to document their concerns, priorities, resources, and resource needs. The family can write it down or say it out loud for the Family Resource Coordinator to write down for them. Outcomes are the goals or changes that the family wants to see for their child and family. We're going to do an activity to help with developing outcomes. It's just a few slides away. Support services are listed in the IFSP with details about when, where, and who's going to pay. The name and contact information for the resource coordinator is listed in the plan, and families have a right to request a different FRC if there's a mismatch. Natural environments are described on the IFSP. Again, these are the places where services are provided. And if they're provided in a place that would not be the child's natural environment, if disability weren't a factor, then the IFSP must include a written reason for a placement that is outside of natural environments. Timelines list when the services begin and end and when the plan will be reviewed. If the family needs and requests additional services that are outside the scope of the IFSP, then the names of additional service providers who are helping the family can be listed on the plan. The IFSP is required to include a transition plan, which describes how IEP eligibility will be assessed and what services will look like after the child turns age 3. Here's a bit more information about natural environment. Home and daycare are typical natural environments for an infant or toddler, but the natural environment might be any location where a child would spend time if they were not impacted by disability. Remember that the IFSP is required to include a statement that justifies a placement that is not a child's natural environment. The goal is to teach skills where a child needs to use them. Outcomes is the term used to describe what a child with an IFSP is learning or working on. Outcomes are like the measurement of success if the goal is met. These outcomes keep the IFSP based in real life and child and family centered. A federal agency that provides guidance about early interventions is the Early Childhood Technical Assistance Center, sometimes shortened to ECTA. The guidebook pictured on this slide includes a training activity to help IFSP teams support outcomes that are meaningful for a child and family. The 6 outcomes listed here are part of this guidance, and I borrowed some of their examples to help you better understand how to write good outcomes during planning meetings. The next 6 slides will list each of these outcomes and 2 sample phrases. You can follow along by choosing whether you think choice A or choice B is a better fit for the outcome listed. For fun, you can keep track of how well you did. Don't worry if you don't get them all right. That's what learning is all about, and we need to give ourselves and our children grace when we're learning new skills and concepts. Here we go. Outcome number 1 is necessary and functional for a child's everyday life as part of a family. Consider whether phrase A or B meets this standard. A, Lily will go fishing with her family and hold her own fishing pole. B, occupational therapist will assist Jana in grasping objects. If you chose A, you are correct. The family's fishing trip is part of Lily's real life. Outcome number 2 reflects real life contextual settings. A contextual setting is a space that is naturally part of family life. Choice A says, Marcus will stack 4 blocks. Choice B says, Romeo will visit grandma and ride in his car seat all the way to her house. You are correct if you picked choice B. The block stacking outcome doesn't include any context or connection to regular daily life. Going to grandma's house with a successful car ride is something Romeo needs help with for participating in the family's life. Outcome number 3 supports the integration of developmental domains that are discipline-free. Remember the 5 developmental domains? They were on the slide with the 5 colored icons. Which of these outcome statements sounds like a better fit to meet a developmental domain? A, Kimmy will play with her toys so grandma can cook breakfast and get the older kids off to school. Or is it B, Marta will participate in range of motion and strengthening exercises? Choice B is not really connected to real life domains. So yeah, the answer is A. By playing with her toys while her grandma cooks, Kimmy is integrating physical, cognitive, and adaptive domains. There also might be elements of social emotional learning and communication happening. Keep in mind that avoidance of discipline is not part of the outcome. Focus is on the positive. Outcome number 4 keeps focus on clear and simple skill development without technical language or jargon. Does A or B meet that standard? A. Leroy will play together with his brother while his mom is making meals and express himself using gestures and words. B, Angel will participate in reciprocal turn taking during one-to-one facilitation. So yeah, B is sort of like, what little kid does reciprocal turn taking, right? Lots of jargon there. So the answer is A. Choice A meets the standard of this outcome by clearly stating something that's going to help the child fit into the family. He can play with his brother and practice his skills of communication while mom gets food ready. Every parent who has ever tried to cook while the children are playing nearby can appreciate the value of this functional outcome. So here's outcome number 5, which emphasizes the importance of focusing on the positive, what you want or expect. It's fairly well known that children miss keywords like don't when adults give directions. Don't jump on the bed or you'll get in trouble, for example, might sound to the child like jump on the bed, fun trouble. So, which of these statements meets the standard listed here to stay in the positive? A, Robin will stop having tantrums at separation from primary caregiver when going to daycare. Or B, Kamika will sleep through the night. You're right if you chose answer B. There's a common phrase in the positive behavior support world: 5 and 1 gets it done. That means that when adults call out and praise what they saw and liked 5 times for every 1 time they call out a behavior that they want to stop, they'll have the best success in teaching expected behaviors. The 1945 song by Johnny Mercer and the Pied Pipers got it right. You've got to accentuate the positive and latch on to the affirmative. Positive outcomes. Outcome number 6 is a good one for good writers. Use active words. Which of these outcome statements is written using active words? A, Marcus will play in the backyard, getting around using his walker. Or B, I want my child to walk. The more active statement is, in fact, A. With this outcome written into his IFSP, Marcus will get help to navigate using his walker in his own backyard, making him more independent when playing at home. The parent who wants their child to walk has a valid desire, but outcomes need to be actionable. How will the child mobilize, and what skill will the professionals help the child and family work on to get there? That's how outcomes are written to be functional. I hope these 6 samples have helped you better understand what to consider when writing IFSP outcomes. For additional information, the Early Childhood Technical Assistance Center has resources for supporting providers and families. Washington's Department of Children, Youth, and Families, DCYF, provides a family guide to early intervention services. Included are details about parents' rights. Here's a short list with some key elements. 1, the IFSP is reviewed every 6 months and rewritten at least every year. 2, family caregivers have the right to participate in all meetings concerning a child's support services. 3, providers are responsible to schedule meetings at a time and place that works for the family. 4, all notices and IFSP documents must be provided to the family in the language used in the home. That might be Spanish, Braille, sign language, for example. 5, the Family Resource Coordinator supports the family and the IFSP team until the child's 3rd birthday. 6, the family has a right to request a different FRC if the relationship is not working. 7, it's important to always remember that the child and family have the right to receive individualized services, not something that was pre-built. And number 8, family has the right to accept or decline any specific service. That means that they can decline one aspect of an IFSP without losing the other wanted services. Here's a snapshot of PAVE's website, and I want to point out that if you type toolkit into the search bar, you can find our early learning toolkit, which includes some of the information shared today and links to articles with additional resources and information. This concludes part 1 of PAVE's Family Advocacy and Children's Rights presentation. PAVE's website includes a link to part 2, preschool transition and primary school. For individualized support from PAVE, click Get Help on our website. Thank you for taking time to learn and for all that you do to support a child who needs you. Please note that PAVE is not a legal service organization and can't give legal advice or represent you. PTI's funding comes from a U.S. Department of Education grant, but the U.S. government doesn't review our training materials in order to endorse them. We'd love to know whether this video was helpful for you. On the page where you found this video, there's a link to a very short survey. Thank you for sharing your feedback. And thank you again for listening and learning. And please contact us at wapave.org for individualized assistance or further training opportunities.